after watching the tape from last week as you move on to this week, how'd you characterize your game? Was it a good game for you? How did you look at it?
Yeah, I would say I made one bad play in a situation where that's we couldn't afford that in that moment with where we were in the game, and that's the interception. Other than that, I mean, saw well. Felt like I played well. Obviously, had a couple of situations where I felt like I could have done a better job, like the getting out of bounds and saving a timeout. To help us in that situation. It's always nice to have those timeouts and have as many as you want and can have in those situations. And then the two intentional groundings. One of them was third down, and we were going to punt regardless, and we got a boomer of a punter. So that wasn't too hurtful. But the one before half, just find a way to get it in the vicinity of Colston, and if not, us just being on the same page.
Caleb, how much better do you think you can get on some of the procedural stuff? Procedural stuff, like getting less time going by between plays when you're in those tight spots, getting everybody, making sure the other 10.
At the end of the game, what's?
I'm sorry, like
end of half stuff.
Clock situations.
Yeah.
A lot of time running off between plays at the end of both halves in Baltimore. Also things like just being on top of everybody else pre-snap, making sure the other 10 guys are in the right spots.
Yeah, that's a part of it. That's a part of this position is making sure everybody either understands the situation, and if they don't, providing the urgency with my tempo, my energy, all those different things in those moments. If they aren't understanding the situation, that's a part of my position and my job. And then from there, it's just the reps. I think we've done a good job over the time. That we've had so far. I think last week was one of those weeks that weren't. And so you chalk it up to that, and you find ways to like I've said, man, you find solutions. And that's where we're at. We're in a great spot as a team. I know we lost his last game, and we were in positions to win or score touchdowns to get ahead early and things like that, and that didn't happen. And so like I said, we find solutions, and we're in a great spot as a team, as a locker room, coaching staff. We all we still have that belief, that known factor of us going out there and winning these games.
The interception you'd said after the game, bad throw, I think, right? Am I characterizing your thoughts correctly?
Yep.
Ben said bad read.
Yep.
Where are you at on that Wednesday?
Yeah, been able to go back and watch it. At that time, obviously, right after the game, I didn't get a chance to look over the film. I think it was Kyle was opening the flat, and I think that was a good rep for me to bank. Just being able to kind of see ahead of where I was throwing, and didn't see the corner fall off. I thought he was trailing DJ, I believe. I thought he was trailing DJ, and I thought I just threw a bad ball, but the corner was there. I feel that I could still fit it in there, but in that situation, just understanding, go get Cal the ball as fast as possible, and then let him go make a great play for us, 10 maybe plus yards.
You've taken a lot fewer sacks this year, 12 and 7 games, and I'm not going to ask you to compare the line from this year to last year, but what have you done personally to reduce that number, and how big of a focus was that for you?
Yeah, it's extreme focus. I mean, I don't want to be one of those guys in year 6 where I'm one of the highest sacked ever in history and things like that. So it's just I got a great group in front of me, running backs and tight ends and all of that. They obviously help out in different situations to block DNs, block linebackers, block blitzes and things like that. And then I think it's just us all being on the same page, and I think that's part of it. And the other part is from my side is just being more comfortable and confident within the offense, being more comfortable with being able to deliver good ball and the guys snapping the eyes around, knowing where the guys are going to be. And I think that's something that's going to keep growing throughout my career, and just finding ways to not have sacks, especially on first and second down, is really important to in the NFL to keep drives alive. And I think that's something that I went back and looked at, something it's been on my conscious mind after taking 60-some sacks last year. And so I think we got to keep going. I think we got to find ways when they do send these blitzes and things like that to exploit these teams. But I think we've done a good job keeping me off the ground.
How much do you know about?
Caleb, what do you need to get more out of the red zone trips?
Yeah, it just comes down to execution. As a run game, as a pass game, and it comes down to details. Run game, staying on landmarks, hitting the holes, and finding those. Even if it's not a gaping hole, getting those those dirty 4 yards, 3 yards, because that goes a long way. And then pass game is just being on the same page. And then like the one sack that I had down there, in the beginning of the game, it's just being able to either dirt it or find the back right there. Peeked, didn't see him, and we we're on the same page in that situation. Didn't see him, and felt 45, and I tried to go make a play for us. But just being in those situations, finding checkdowns, being on the same page, being detailed, finding execution.
How much do you
Using your
know?
legs? I'm sorry.
Using my legs.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a conscious thing that I have to keep harping on for myself is using my legs. Obviously had that big run before half, and so just knowing how effective using my legs is, and being able to run and hurt a defense is something that I'm more conscious of, and trying to be more conscious of to be able to help this team.
You mentioned the locker room's in a good place. How much do you know about CJ as
Yeah.
here, and how you think he might fit in with the group you have?
Yeah, I'm excited. Just the energy, that I've seen from him. Obviously, over time of him being in the league, I think he has a lot of great ball when he's on the field, and I think just being around him today, the energy, the effort that I saw when he was out there, he made a good play out there today, and just being able to be around him, being able to have everybody put open arms and things like that, and we figure out who he is and where he should be and how he fits into us, and I think that's where we're going to be at, and I'm excited to have him.
Ben said he didn't like the call on the quarterback sneak at the end of the game. And I know there was the Detroit game earlier in the year, those back-to-back ones you guys didn't convert on. How is that being emphasized to be able to convert on those going forward?
It was more or less the situation. I think is why he didn't like the call. Just understanding. I believe we didn't have any timeouts at that point, so we didn't have any timeouts, so the clock was just going to keep running, and so probably want to pass in that situation. I think that's what he was getting at is if it's incomplete or anything like that, the clock would stop, and not having a big old pile with a bunch of people, and having taken precious time, because the most important thing in those situations is time, and so it's I think that's what he meant by that, and when we spoke about it in that situation.
On penalties, Ben put it on veterans and leaders in the locker room to take care of that issue. What does that look like in your eyes behind the closed doors to make sure everyone's aligned on that same page?
Yeah, I think it's us just focusing, and not having the brain farts and things like that. Me emphasizing in the huddle, us making sure that when we break the huddle, everybody's on the same page, and then everybody just being confident in themselves and understanding that we know the play, we know what we need to do, we need to go execute, and so just sit in there, and when the cadence is whenever the cadence is. And whatever it is, when the ball's going to be snapped, we're firing off at the same page. And so it is up to us as players. Like I've said, the best teams are the player-led teams. And so that's something that we need to focus on, something we need to fix as a team, is these penalties, because they're happening in critical moments and critical downs for us. And I think that's something that affects us negatively, obviously. And so we got to fix that. We got to find a way to fix it, and that starts with us as players.
Caleb, DJ,
Two more.
just out of curiosity, have you noticed at all what Drake May's been doing in New England these
Yeah.
past few weeks?
Yeah, he's
Stands out.
Yeah, he's been playing. He's been playing well. Been able to the times that I've been able to watch them play, whether it's just me sitting at home and watching them and things like that. He's been playing on time. He believes in his guys, and they're playing efficient football, running the ball well, passing the ball well, and that's a good combo to have. And then having him go out there and make explosive plays, scramble plays, and things like that. Kudos to him and them over there.
You complimented your draft class before the
Yeah, we gotta.
Warriors game. How do you? Is it human nature to compare?
No, I don't compare. It's just different situations, and different coaches and different years, different development. We're different players, different playing styles, and all those different things. So you start trying to compare stats and stuff, and you lose sight of where you're at and what you're focused on and what you need to focus on and what you need to grow at. And so happy for all the guys in the draft class, but no comparison. Awesome. The Bears.
Thank you.